Hey guys, well, back at it again. Let me show you what I'm working on. Remember the last video I showed you that little piece of wood with the birdhouse door in it? Let's get this around the light so you can see it. So this is the frame of the birdhouse, or it's pretty much the birdhouse. Gonna glue dry a little bit, and of course any rustic building has to have a tin roof. So I'm working on that tin roof right now. So I thought I'd show you a little bit of that process. I'm just literally going to set the camera down here and let you guys. Great camera work, camera guy. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bend this edge up, because I don't want any little kids in the store that this is going to get a hold of it and cut their fingers bad. So I guess that's my dad voice speaking there, teacher voice. But sometimes you don't know what these teenagers are gonna do. There, let me sit down like that. You can see. So just kind of work this edge over with the pliers. I'm not a professional metal worker. I never claimed to be. But believe it or not, I'm an Emmy award-winning photographer. So the video quality of this cracks me up. So, but you know what? That was 20 years ago. In June it'll be 20 years since that. So it's like the Janet Jackson song, "What have you done for me lately?" That's kind of how I feel about that deal. But anyways, we're gonna knock this over. There we go. That just kind of hides that edge so that it won't get cut on it if you're a little guy. And I'm kind of going to beat it up a little bit because the rest of the house looks pretty cool. So you can't have a perfectly shiny piece of tin on a rustic house, right? Anyway, it's all art. It's up to interpretation. So my vision with these videos is to create a woodworking channel on YouTube and kind of work my way into that as a second job to my teaching. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but teachers don't make a lot of money. Yeah, we have a lot of time off, but we also have a lot of work on our plate, so it's kind of it's a trade out. So here comes more hammering. Better at that. Cool. 2 more edges to go, and we can eat it. Just kidding. If you know where that line's from, we can be friends. I really should bring my microphones down and hook one up to me for all this talking that I'm doing here. One of my students told me, and you know which one you are because you're probably going to watch this, that if I showed this kind of stuff, they would watch it. They mean the younger generation, because believe it or not, they want the crafts in their lives, and the fact that it's very few and far between in schools anymore, where they don't get a lot of introduction to woodworking and things like that, where they can learn a craft or a skill. I teach career and tech education, which I teach photography, but a traditional wood shop is hard to find in a high school anymore. And people are screaming for those skills. They need people that can go in and make things, build things, invent things. So I think we've honestly, in my opinion, have done a disservice to our country by, in the 90s and the early 2000s, when we pushed college bound for everybody. I don't know if you've heard of a little guy named Mike Rowe. I totally agree with Mike on that college isn't for everybody. Learn a trade, get a skill. If you're like, oh man, I don't want to spend another 4 years going to college, don't. Go find a trade school. There are a lot of community colleges that have programs that can teach you a skill in a short period of time and get you out into the real world, making real money. So I would totally suggest you guys do that. All right. Beat this side up a little bit. Okay. What do you think of that? If you're a bird, you're going to move in there, raise a little family. It's kind of cool. I'd kind of like to live in a cabin like that. So we're going to attach this roof, and I can see there's a crow right away. There's nowhere on the back of this to mount the actual roof to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this little piece of wood down and fit it in there so that there's a ridge in the back so that tin can ride on that. So it's going to get loud. I'll turn this around. Let's turn it down. Let's go over here. We'll do this over here. That way you guys can see a little bit of what's going on here. Believe it or not, I have all the studio equipment upstairs in the house, and I'm just too lazy to go get it. We're gonna fire. It's gonna get loud. We're gonna fire up the vacuum and cut some wood. Safety first, baby. Okay, I'm gonna grab my tin roof, and I noticed something that I need to do is curl this back edge over and get it kind of out of the way so that it can sit up against the back of the birdhouse and be flush with that. So, people out there jogging. There we go. Now I can go right on there like that. And just to hold this in place, I'm going to shoot a couple of brad nails right through it. It's not going to catch a thing. I'm actually going to use a staple here. And hopefully I don't destroy this, but I'm going to put these in, and then I'm going to go back and hand nail. There we go. Hand nail these together. Maybe. Yeah. I don't want to put too many visible staples or nails in this because I want it to kind of look, you know, like an old rustic thing. So I'm going to grab some nails. Entirely too long. This is why I need to organize my shop. You know what? I'm not going to nail it because all the nails that I bought are this long. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this one more little staple. If my gun's going to participate. Way to go, Bostitch. There we go. All right. So, there it is. Finished birdhouse. I think that's pretty dang cute. What do you think? All right. If you like my little channel here, go ahead and subscribe and like and share it. And tell other people that this crazy old teacher is starting a wood channel, and we'll keep making you stuff, and you keep watching. We'll catch you later. Have a good night.